If you're over 60 and waking up without a morning erection, that's not just aging. It's a red flag, a quiet signal from your body that something deeper is going on, and the cost of ignoring it. It's not just about intimacy. It's about your energy, your confidence, your heart health, and your identity as a man. Hi, I'm Dr. James Carter, board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. For over 30 years, I've worked with thousands of men, just like you men who thought they were too old to fix this too far gone, or just stuck with pills that never truly solved the problem. Let me tell you the truth. Erectile dysfunction is not a death sentence for your manhood. And no, you don't have to rely on medications or give up hope, because in many cases this issue is reversible naturally. Today I'm going to show you 4 simple yet powerful exercises that restore erection strength, improve blood flow, rebuild muscle control, and bring back the confidence that aging quietly tried to take away. These aren't gimmicks. They're science-backed, doctor-approved, and tailored specifically for men over 60. In fact, one of these exercises is something I teach to my post-surgery patients to help them regain full sexual function without pills, without surgery, and without shame. If you stay with me through this video, you'll not only understand why this is happening, but more importantly, you'll know what to do starting today from the comfort of your own home. So before we dive in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I release trusted men's health advice every week, just like this, and I don't want you to miss out. And if this video helps you even a little, just type 1 in the comments below. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me create better content that actually matters to you. Ready? Let's begin with the first and most foundational exercise to rebuild your sexual strength from the inside out. When most men think about improving erections, they immediately jump to testosterone or pills. But what if I told you that the real foundation of strong, lasting erections lies in a group of muscles most men have never heard of or exercised? Let me introduce you to the pelvic floor muscles. These deep internal muscles are responsible for something incredibly important, controlling blood flow in and out of the penis during an erection. Think of them like the support beams of a house. If they're weak or neglected, the whole structure starts to sag. Years ago, I met a patient named Tom. He was 67, recently retired, married for over 4 decades. He came into my office, eyes cast down, and said, "Doc, I still love my wife, but I don't feel like a man anymore." He had slowly lost the ability to get or maintain an erection. Pills didn't work. The spark was gone. But what changed everything for Tom wasn't a new medication. It was a daily routine. I gave him something simple, private, and free. Pelvic floor activation, also known as Kegels for men. Within 8 weeks, Tom came back smiling. "Doctor," he said, "I feel alive again." So how does it work? The pelvic floor muscles act like a clamp. When you get aroused, blood rushes into the penis. These muscles tighten to hold that blood in place, keeping the erection firm. When the muscles are weak, the blood escapes quickly. Result soft or short-lived erections. Here's how to train these muscles properly. Find a quiet place where you can sit or lie down comfortably. Identify the muscle. Imagine you're urinating and try to stop the stream mid-flow. That internal squeeze, that's your pelvic floor. Important, don't engage your abs legs or glutes. If your belly moves, you're doing it wrong. Hold the squeeze for 5 seconds. Then release and rest for 5 seconds. Do 10 repetitions in a row. This takes about 2 minutes. Repeat this routine 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and before bed. Once you've mastered that, after 2 weeks, increase the hold to 7 seconds, then 10. Just like training, a bicep consistency builds endurance. So, what can you expect? Harder, longer-lasting erections, better control during intimacy, improved bladder function, and, most importantly, a renewed sense of confidence. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a gym. You just need consistency. I've seen this one habit change men's lives often more than any prescription. Because when you start strengthening your foundation, everything above it gets stronger too. If training a hidden group of muscles can have this much power, imagine what happens when you learn to calm your nerves, relax your body, and unlock the system that controls arousal itself. That's exactly what we'll do in Part 2, where I'll show you a breathing technique that can literally rewire your erection reflex. After strengthening the pelvic floor, the physical foundation, there's one system we need to talk about that most men overlook, and yet it holds the key to natural arousal. It's your nervous system. Let me share a story. A man named Frank, in his early 70s, came into my office. Physically, he looked great. He walked every day, ate well, and had no major medical issues. But something was missing. He said, "Doc, I want to be close to my wife. But when I try, my body doesn't respond. My mind is racing. I can't relax even when I want to." What Frank didn't know was that his problem wasn't purely physical. It was neurological. Years of stress, shallow breathing, and constant overthinking had locked his body in a state of quiet tension. He was living in fight or flight mode, even when it was time to feel safe, relaxed, and intimate. The solution: diaphragmatic breathing, also called deep belly breathing. This practice activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for rest recovery and sexual arousal. When this system is awake, your body finally gets the message. It's okay to let go. Here's how it works. Find a quiet space. Sit in a chair or lie down with your back supported. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Slowly inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Your belly, not your chest, should rise. Gently hold your breath for 2 seconds. Slowly exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Feel your belly fall. That's one deep, calming breath. Do this for 5 to 10 minutes twice a day, once in the morning to set your tone, and again in the evening to unwind. What happens over time? Your heart rate slows down. Blood vessels relax, improving flow to the pelvic region. Cortisol stress hormone drops. You feel more connected to yourself and your partner. Erections become easier to achieve and maintain because you're no longer fighting your body. I've seen men who thought they were too old or too broken recover naturally just by breathing right. They didn't need more testosterone. They needed calm, connection, control. Frank, the man I told you about, he committed to 10 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing twice a day. Within 3 weeks, he called me doctor. It's like my body finally exhaled. I can feel again. And that's the beauty of this technique. It's simple, it's free, and it works. Because an erection isn't just about the penis. It's about the entire body saying yes to arousal. And sometimes the only thing standing in the way is tension you didn't even know was there. Now, if breathing alone can help activate the erection reflex, imagine what happens when you physically train your body to pull blood into the penis consistently and naturally. In Part 3, I'll introduce you to a hospital-grade tool that's been quietly changing lives and may be the missing link in your journey. You've now learned how to strengthen the pelvic muscles and calm your nervous system, two powerful ways to reclaim sexual health. But what if we could take it a step further? What if we could manually retrain your body to send blood into the penis again, even after years of struggle? That's where penile vacuum pump therapy comes in. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Really, Doc? One of those things. I had a patient once, Martin, a 66-year-old retired engineer. He was skeptical, even embarrassed, when I first mentioned using a vacuum device. "You want me to do what with this thing?" he asked, half joking. But underneath the humor, I saw the frustration of feeling like his body had given up on him. Fast forward 8 weeks, and Martin walked into my office, smiling like a man reborn. "Doc," he said, "I'm getting real erections again. Not forced, not fake, real." So how does it work? A vacuum erection device, VED, uses gentle negative pressure to draw blood into the penis. Think of it as passive training for the blood vessels. You're not forcing an erection. You're reintroducing blood flow to tissue that's been underused for too long. As men age, arteries' narrow activity slows and circulation weakens, especially if conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure are present. This leads to less oxygen reaching the penile tissue, which then loses elasticity and responsiveness. The vacuum pump gently expands the erectile chambers, allowing oxygen-rich blood to nourish and revive the area. Over time, this improves vascular health and supports natural erections without pills. Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Choose a high-quality medical-grade device manual or battery-powered. Apply lubricant around the cylinder opening for a comfortable seal. Insert your flaccid penis into the tube. Hold the cylinder firmly against your body. Begin pumping slowly. You'll feel a gentle pull as blood enters the penis. Once erect, hold the vacuum for 10-15 minutes. Some men use a soft constriction ring to maintain the erection temporarily, but only with proper guidance. Start with 3 sessions per week. Some progress to daily use, but never exceed 30 minutes per session. What to expect? Improved blood flow over 2 to 6 weeks. Stronger morning erections. Better response during intimacy. Revived penile sensitivity. And for many men, hope restored. This is not about performing on demand. It's about healing, retraining, and reawakening the parts of your body that aging tried to silence. Martin's story isn't rare. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s benefit from this therapy, especially when combined with the first 2 practices. Because here's the truth, when you align your muscles, your nervous system, and now your circulation, the body starts remembering what it was made to do. If a simple device can help your body remember its natural rhythm, imagine what happens when you go one level deeper, where tissue health cell, regeneration, and even length restoration come into play. In Part 4, I'll introduce a final rarely discussed technique that's changing how men over 60 view aging and their own potential. Let's continue. So far, we've strengthened the muscles, trained the nervous system, and revived blood flow. But there's one final tool that often flies under the radar. It's not a pill. It's not a pump. It's a device that's been used in clinical rehabilitation for decades, and yet very few men over 60 know about it. It's called a penile extender, and it just might be the most underrated method to restore not only your function, but also your confidence and sense of masculinity. Let me introduce you to Gary, a 68-year-old former firefighter. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, I don't just want to work again. I want to feel like I used to feel. I want to look down and feel like me again." That was when I introduced him to the extender protocol. At first, he was hesitant. He raised an eyebrow. "Is this for real? Doesn't this stuff only show up in spam emails?" Fair question. But 3 months later, Gary returned with a quiet confidence. His words, "It changed how I see myself." So, what exactly is a penile extender? It's a medical traction device that gently stretches the penis over time using light, consistent tension. Think of it like physical therapy, but for your sexual health. The science is clear. Gentle traction stimulates cellular regeneration, encourages angiogenesis, the growth of new blood vessels, and improves tissue elasticity. This means healthier, stronger, more responsive erections, and yes, in many cases, a modest increase in length. How to use it properly? Choose a quality extender, not a cheap generic product. Look for a device that is adjustable, padded for comfort, designed for gradual tension increase. Use the device while completely flaccid. Fit it snugly, not tightly. You should feel a light stretch, not pain. Wear it for 30 to 60 minutes per day during the first week. Gradually increase to 1 to 2 hours per day over the course of several weeks. Stick with it for at least 3 to 6 months to see significant results. This isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term restorative process, like strength training or stretching a tight muscle. What are the real benefits? Improved erectile quality, smoother blood flow, healthier tissue response, reduction in minor curvature or scarring, psychological empowerment, and yes, for many men, a modest but meaningful increase in length. The real transformation, though, is internal. You go from feeling like your body is slipping away to realizing you can rebuild it. Gary's story is a reflection of what I've seen again and again. This isn't about vanity. It's about reclaiming your sense of self. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, "I've still got it." Now that you've seen all 4 techniques, from muscle strength to nervous system control to vascular health and tissue regeneration, it's time to bring them together into one simple practical plan. And before we wrap up, I'll share a 7-second habit that can fast-track your results faster than anything I've ever taught. Let's move to the final part, the conclusion, your road back to confidence and vitality. Let's pause for a moment and take this in. You've just explored 4 transformative tools, all designed not just to improve erections, but to help you reclaim the confidence, control, and vitality that aging may have quietly tried to take from you. As a urologist who's spent over 30 years helping men navigate these deeply personal challenges, I want to tell you something most doctors won't say. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. And it's not too late. Erectile dysfunction isn't a sentence, it's a signal. And when you choose to listen to it instead of hiding from it, you open the door to real change. Let's recap what we've covered. Pelvic floor activation, Kegels for men. You learned how strengthening a hidden group of muscles can restore the very foundation of your erections. No gym, no pills, just simple, intentional movement that makes a big impact. Diaphragmatic breathing. You discovered how calming your nervous system can bring your arousal response back online. Because sometimes the biggest block to intimacy isn't physical, it's emotional tension locked in the body. Penile vacuum pump therapy. You saw how training your blood vessels gently and consistently can revive circulation and sensitivity, even if it's been years. Penile extender protocol. You explored a method that not only restores function, but reconditions the tissue itself, bringing back firmness, responsiveness, and even confidence in appearance. Together, these 4 pillars form a complete system. Not a gimmick, not a shortcut, a real path forward for men over 60 who refuse to settle. Now, here's what I want you to remember above all else. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about taking ownership of your future. You have more control than you think. But control doesn't come from waiting for a better day. It comes from showing up today with action. The 7-second habit. Before we close, let me give you one of the most powerful yet overlooked habits I teach every man I work with. Each morning, take just 7 seconds to check for a natural erection upon waking. Why? Because this morning response is one of the clearest windows into your vascular, hormonal, and neurological health. If it's there, great. You're on track. If it's not, don't panic. That's your body asking for a tune-up. Use it as a daily compass to guide you back into alignment using the tools you've just learned. Track it, reflect, adjust. 7 seconds every morning. That's it. Over the years, some of my patients have told me, I wish I knew this sooner. Others say, this gave me a second chance. And a few have whispered, it saved my marriage. Now I can't promise miracles. I won't tell you this will be easy, but I will tell you this. These 4 techniques are scientifically sound, clinically proven, and designed for real men in the real world. Most importantly, they put the power back where it belongs in your hands. Whether you start with just one method or go all in, remember the moment you take that first step, you're already on the road back to yourself. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below with the word reclaim. Let me know which part hit home. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the bell. I release weekly advice designed to help men over 60 stay strong, stay confident, and stay connected to who they truly are. Thank you for trusting me. I'm Dr. James Carter, and I'll see you in the next video.